Our shoe of the day is the HOKA Hupana. The shoe itself comes in at about 25 millimeters of cushion in the heel and 20 millimeters of cushion in the forefoot, which means that the drop of the shoe is 5 millimeters. So put those two things together, what we have here is a low drop, transitionally cushioned road shoe. The shoe HOKA talks about this being about an 8.3 ounce shoe. That's a men's size 9. Well, in a size 12.5, which I have here in my hand, you're still under 10 ounces, 9.9 ounces. Why wouldn't I use this every day? Well, this engineered mesh is a little bit thicker than most. It's designed to look great, feel great all day long, but not necessarily breathe as well as some of your higher performance materials. So since it doesn't breathe quite as well, you're probably not gonna go out and run a marathon in this shoe. Hi, this is Nathan Lehman. I'm at the Ultra Running Company in Myers Park, and we're here to do a shoe review. Our shoe of the day is the HOKA Hupana. They also call this the HOKA Hupana 2, and as far as we can tell here at the Ultra Running Company, the only difference between the two shoes are a couple shades of color and the number 2 after it. So we're going to talk about them interchangeably today. This is the HOKA Hupana 2. Looking at it in our normal Ultra Running Company categorization, we consider this a road shoe. It's got a nice flat tread on it. So definitely not suited for running on trails in any way, shape, or form. This is completely a road shoe. The shoe itself comes in at about 25 millimeters of cushion in the heel and 20 millimeters of cushion in the forefoot, which means that the drop of the shoe is 5 millimeters. So put those two things together, what we have here is a low drop, transitionally cushioned road shoe. With that said, there's a lot of really cool, unique things about the Hupana that I want to talk about today. One is, this is not your typical road training racing shoe. And by that, what I mean is, HOKA really designed this to be more of your all-purpose, go all day, everyday shoe. And so what it does exceptionally well is, you can wear it all day, it's comfortable, breathes relatively well with a nice engineered mesh upper. And what engineered mesh upper means is, instead of using pieces of plastic to support and keep the shape of the shoe, what they use is different knits within the shoe in order to give it that structure that really holds it in place. So this is the kind of shoe you can really hang out in all day. It's got a really generous amount of comfort for the amount of cushion that there is. And the shoe itself is made with what we call a blown rubber midsole. And there's 3 types of midsole. There's compressed rubber, which basically takes a big piece of rubber, compresses it down, and then carves it out. Then you can do injection molded, which is where you pour some type of warm rubber into a mold, and when you pull it out, it's in the look and shape that you want it to be. And the third is to use some type of polyurethane, and this is really actually a mix of the last two, where HOKA has taken a material they call RMAT, and that's just a trade name for how that they decided to stick on it. But RMAT is really a mixture of their, believe it or not, their tread rubber, so the stuff on the bottom, with their midsole rubber, which is the springy portion. They kind of took those, mixed them together, and made one rubber out of it. So what you get with that is a really kind of responsive, springy rubber that gives you really nice comfort, a little separation from the ground, but also lasts a really, really long time. So this RMAT is actually HOKA's longest lasting rubber. And I bring that up because when you look at the bottom of this shoe, it doesn't look like there's anything there. This looks more like the midsole material that I've told you in other reviews wears out very quickly. But in fact, this entire bottom is made out of RMAT, and this is one of their longer wearing shoes. I personally have been wearing a pair of these Hupanas since last December or so in a on the floor, walking around and running type environment. And the midsole, the actual cushion here, really hasn't worn out that much at all. It's still in great shape, still can be worn around, and still looks almost like the day it was the day I bought it. So really nice long wearing rubber here. So the question becomes, why isn't this a long distance running shoe, or why wouldn't I use this every day? Well, this engineered mesh is a little bit thicker than most. It's designed to look great, feel great all day long, but not necessarily breathe as well as some of your higher performance materials. So since it doesn't breathe quite as well, you're probably not going to go out and run a marathon in this shoe. Typically what I like to use it for is just getting out on a short training run. I might use it for a 5K. My recommendation would be not to go more than about 10 miles in this, because your feet are going to heat up quite a bit. It just doesn't have the ventilation of a modern running shoe. It's the kind of thing that I'll wear all day here at the Ultra Running Company. We'll work with customers and be on my feet. I might sit in the office with it and be really comfortable there. And then at the end of the day, I don't need to go home and change my shoes. I can just run out with a run club or on a 5 to 10 mile run and not have to change my shoes. So really super versatile. If you're going to race, probably going to suggest a shoe with a little bit more spring to it, a little bit more responsive shoe. The upper on this again is designed for comfort, not to really lock you in. So there would be some movement there. So last piece of it, this is an exceptionally lightweight shoe. The shoe, HOKA talks about this being about an 8.3 ounce shoe. The amazing thing about it is, as we always say, they do that for marketing purposes. That's a men's size 9. Well, in a size 12.5, which I have here in my hand, you're still under 10 ounces, 9.9 ounces for this shoe, which is just fantastic for a shoe with 25 millimeters of tread cushion in the heel. So you are getting a wonderful, lightweight, responsive shoe that allows you to go throughout your day and really have a nice run with it. So that's my review on the HOKA Hupana and Hupana 2, but we're going to get a little special look here, because typically what we've got is we've got this guy sitting here in front of the camera, and you're getting my impressions on a size 12.5 shoe. Today we're going to get a good opinion, and we're going to bring in a female standpoint on this, because well, frankly, it's probably better than mine is. So Melinda, if you want to come join me and tell us about the shoe. This is Melinda Yelton, also here primarily at our Myers Park location. She's a big fan of the Hupana, and thought she could tell us a little bit more maybe than I had. Melinda, what is it that you like about the Hupana?
I like the Hupana, and he said a good opinion. You're just getting my opinion, so take it.
That's a pretty solid opinion.
Pretty solid opinion. Okay, we'll go with that.
Google Melinda Yelton.
This is one of the women's colors I'm a women's 10, and this is the other women's color, and I actually have a third women's color at home. So I own 2 Hupanas and may get this one, but love them. I worked today and I hung out in the store in the shoe. Very, very comfortable to hang out in. And I like going to the gym in it, doing lunges side to side. Because of this arm mat that Nathan was talking about, makes it stiffer and firmer, side to side squats, lunges, this way, that way. It holds up very well for gym work and then immediately go into a run. So I like the versatility of it, standing in it on a daily basis at the gym and also a run. I will say, I heard Nathan say maybe not your marathon shoe. I would. I've always said I'm a glistener and not a sweater. So my feet, again, to the same point, I have not noticed the issue of so everybody's different is the point. If your feet are sweating a lot, this maybe doesn't breathe as well. Does not bother me. I have not gone long in it yet, but that says more about me than the shoe. I wouldn't hesitate to take it on a marathon run. I like a smaller profile on a shoe, so this is my favorite HOKA. I like it at my age getting to where I need stiffer, so I liked that the sole felt stiffer.
Just to clarify, is it possible that I could glisten at a higher rate than you? And so that...
Much higher.
Awesome. So Melinda, how long have you had your Hupanas?
I have had these Hupanas at least 9 months. Yeah, and wear them for a variety of things, like I said. So I love them. And then bought a second pair maybe 4 months after the first pair. So that's how much I liked them. Yeah.
Right on. So I totally missed out on the gym work because I don't ever go to the gym.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that's a great point. We have a lot of people doing CrossFit, doing gym work. I would say everything except maybe your really heavy lifting.
True.
So if you're going to go out and work on squats, there may still be a little bit more compression in this shoe than a real gym shoe.
But I'm going to an outdoor boot camp type class. I run there, a mile there from my house, do the boot camp in the shoe and run home in it. So it's a great shoe for doing both those in.
Yeah, and another thing that you just mentioned that I forgot about is this looks like it's a very slick material, Our mat is fantastic for traction, just unbelievable on flat surfaces, non-porous surfaces, wood, stones, that sort of thing.
Never had a problem.
I mean, it really just sticks to the ground, unlike anything I've seen. I wear it around the store and I catch myself, dragging my toes, and I trip 2 or 3 times a day in this shoe. It's just, the traction is fantastic. So really nice spot there. So gym work, all day, wearing around, a nice. I think it's a great looking shoe as well. Goes with a pair of jeans if you want to do that. And then for me, light runs. For you, really any kind of run.
And can I add that when I traveled recently and needed to take one running shoe with me, this was a shoe I took because it is smaller than most of your Hokas, easy to pack, and I knew that it would let me run anywhere I wanted to run because of that traction issue and just doing. So it's not your bigger profile Hoka to put in a suitcase. It's going to travel well.
Yep. That's awesome. And one other note, just thinking about it fit-wise, this is a really true-to-size shoe. I see, you disagree?
That's a great point. I was going to say, this is a women's 10. I am actually wearing the women's 9.5. I went down a half size.
Yeah.
Very, very seldom do I do that, and I did in this shoe.
Right on.
But I fit people here in the store within the true to size. So.
Yeah, and I don't mind a little extra room, so when I say true to size, that's a good point. Right. One thing that we do see with this upper, because the material is a little thicker and it's very durable, is that when you first put it on, it's a little stiffer. The shoe's a little stiffer than it will be a week or 2 later when it really molds to your foot. I find this to be a much more comfortable shoe 2 weeks out than I did when I first put it on. So important note there. So overall, I think this was a different direction for Hoka. It's not something they've done before, and it's really the only shoe in their category that is designed not so much for running as far as everything. It's a true lifestyle shoe, and that's not to take anything away from its performance characteristics. So.
And as a person who likes a low-profile shoe, this is a Hoka for the rest of us.
Right on. Yeah. Right on. Well, thank you very much. So that's the HOKA Hupana. This is the HOKA Hupana 2. As I mentioned, you'll notice they look very similar, but no matter which you wear, you can learn to love to run.